today's video is all about meditation. But before we get started and I share some incredible wisdom quotes with you, I'd like you to pay attention to how you listen, because all of us have some kind of preconceived ideas, concepts, and opinions about this topic. So let's come with an open mind and an open heart to see what we can learn from these words of wisdom. So usually when someone uses the word meditation, they're referring to their meditation practice. But if we want to see something deeper, we need to let go of this idea that meditation is a doing. Because meditation, true meditation, the kind of meditation we're exploring in this video, is not a doing. It's simply a being. When we see that meditation isn't a doing, then there's no trying involved. There's no pressure anymore, right? There's no doing it rightly or wrongly. There's no succeeding or failing. It really does change everything when you realize that true meditation isn't about effort and trying. It's simply about realigning your being, actually. Realigning it with life and this moment. The idea that you're doing a meditation can be quite an obstacle. So let's get rid of preconceptions and expectations that come with that term. It's not a doing. It's the realization that you are, of being, which underlies all doing, an alignment with the totality, without the need to mentally understand anything. A simple realization that you are. When you're completely present, here, now, you're present not just with your head, but with the totality of your being. In other words, you sense an aliveness. It's there in every cell of your body. That is our meditation, to be present with every cell of the body, a subtle sense of aliveness in which the personal dimension becomes relatively unimportant. What arises here is the dimension of conscious presence, or consciousness itself. It's spacious. Space is the essence of who you are. The spaciousness of simple being and your entire life experience is determined by whether or not and how much space there is in your life. For many humans on the planet, there's no space. It's not that the space isn't there. It can't be destroyed, done away with. But they don't know it's there. Eckhart says that meditation is a simple realization that you are. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means that when you're completely present and not somewhere in the world of your mind of past and future, when you're actually here, you can sense something. You can sense an aliveness in your body. You can feel it in your fingertips. There's an energy, that sort of a tingling. Have you ever noticed that? He says you can sense this aliveness in every cell of your body. And he says this is meditation, to be present with this sense of aliveness. You know, all the drama of life, all the the story of what happened and what might happen and what's going on, all the situations, all the stress, the difficulties, all these things tend to sort of vanish, actually, when you become present and tune into yourself as this being who is here now, experiencing life in this moment. Now you might say, well, that doesn't look like you're meditating, Aliki. You're just standing in a park, probably looking somewhat weird to the passers-by. But it is the kind of meditation we're talking about today. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because this presence has a particular quality that Eckhart draws our attention to, and this quality is spaciousness. When you're present, you are automatically in the dimension of spaciousness. The present moment is like a portal to an uncluttered world, very different from the world of your mind. It's a very uncluttered, peaceful, still and beautiful world, which all of us have within us. The spaciousness is beyond thoughts, beyond concepts. And this space is the essence of who you are. Most of us on the planet aren't aware of this spacious presence that we are, aren't aware of our true being. This is why I make these videos. And this is why I'm so thankful that you watch them. I want you to know your true nature. I want you to know the depth and the beauty and the wonder of your inner world, because this is where you find ultimately the peace, the joy, the wisdom, everything that you've been looking for, everything that your heart desires. It's already right here. And the only thing that's stopping you from finding it is some thought about it being difficult or impossible. Remember, meditation is a simple realization that you are. Why do we always have to stick something on the end of that sentence? It's the simple realization that you are. As a spiritual teacher, I've met a lot of people who have meditated for many, many years. One of the most common things I hear from many of these people is that despite having meditated for all this time, they feel essentially untransformed. The deep inner transformation, the spiritual revelation that meditation offers, is something that eludes a lot of people, even those who are long-time practitioners. There are actually good and specific reasons why some meditation practices, including the kind of meditation that I was once engaged in, do not lead to this promised state of transformation. The main reason is actually extraordinarily simple and therefore easy to miss. We approach meditation with the wrong attitude. We carry out our meditation with an attitude of control and manipulation, and that is the very reason our meditation leads us to what feels like a dead end. The awakened state of being, the enlightened state of being, can also be called the natural state of being. How can control and manipulation possibly lead us to our natural state? True meditation has no direction or goal.
It is pure wordless surrender, pure silent prayer. All methods aiming at achieving a certain state of mind are limited, impermanent, and conditioned. Fascination with states leads only to bondage and dependency. True meditation is abidance as primordial awareness. It's easy to use meditative techniques to suppress our human experiences, to suppress things that we don't want to feel. But what is called for is just the opposite. True meditation is the space in which everything is revealed, everything is seen, everything is experienced.
When we come to meditate, it's very easy to have an agenda. Many times we're trying to create a sort of altered state. But Adyashanti says that meditation is our natural state. It's not something that you force. This gives us a completely different perspective. Now we see why it can't really be a doing, because it's more of a sort of relaxing out of the doing. True meditation isn't a goal that we're striving towards. This is what we make it many times because we're so used to operating in this way. I love this sentence that Adyashanti says. He says, "How can control and manipulation possibly lead us to our natural state?" The thing is, it's much easier for us to do than to surrender, because we've learnt how to do many things, but we're not familiar with surrendering. We have these concepts and opinions, and surrendering can sound like a very sort of weak thing to do. Striving sounds much stronger, much more effective, doesn't it? And yet, striving just leads to more striving. You're only going to find that you're still not satisfied, because the only thing that's really going to satisfy you is letting go of all that and surrendering to life itself. Because this is what we are. This is what it means to realign, you know? We're not separate from nature. We're not separate from life. We just think we are. We believe the thoughts that tell us that we are, but actually we're not. This surrendering is the most wonderful surrendering, because it's letting go of everything that's been keeping us out of alignment. This surrendering is coming home to the heart. Many times we have these disturbed emotions and we want to get rid of them because they feel uncomfortable, first of all, and also we feel that they shouldn't be there because, you know, if I'm really spiritual, then I shouldn't be triggered and have all these, you know, disturbed energies inside me. So we think, I know, I'll do some meditation and that'll get rid of them. But meditation couldn't be further from this, because it's about actually allowing everything. Remember that spaciousness we were talking about? That spaciousness is so vast that it makes room for everything, absolutely everything that can possibly exist. True meditation is the space in which everything is allowed, everything is revealed, and everything is seen.
I'd like to invite you for the first time, because no matter how many times we've been in meditation, it's actually always the first time. So this is your first ever meditation, This is my first ever meditation, I promise you. Why? Because meditation means touching into our experience from not knowing. As Jesus said, until you become like a little child, you can't enter into the kingdom of heaven. It's about coming to our experience with a childlike sense of wonder, fascination, newness, adventure, experimentation, and exploration. In that sense, it's always a new beginning. You don't need plant medicines to open your heart and mind to the sacredness of the ordinary. You don't need sweat lodges or complex rituals or chants or dogmas from old books to reveal the glory of the living moments. You only need to open your eyes. Lose the distractions, lose the phones, the overthinking, the exhausting analysis, the mentality of some other moment will be better, and open your eyes. Get really present and open your eyes. This is true meditation, awakening to the miracle of a single moment, experiencing the Garden of Eden right here where you are. This is my wish then, that we'll come to realize that the kingdom is within, and all it takes to enter is a simple shift of the heart. In meditation, the mind relaxes into the heart, seeking relaxes into finding, and even the most intense anxiety finds its home. You can't make it happen, but you can fall into it. Meditation means witnessing the moment with fresh eyes, open ears, and a tender heart. It means being a beginner over and over again and laying the inner expert to rest, drenching the present with gentle attention, never knowing what you'll find.
What if you were to approach each meditation as a new meditation, as your first ever meditation? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to be a beginner every time? Because there's something quite special waiting for you if you are. Something unexpected. Meditation means touching into our experience from not knowing. It's about approaching the moment like a child, open, curious, adventurous. Now Jeff tells us, I think it's 3 times, he says, open your eyes. Open your eyes. You know, we need to learn to see in a new way with our spiritual eyes. And in order to do that, we have to let go of the distractions. And there are so many distractions in today's world, aren't there? But we're letting go of the distractions, not because we have to, we need to, we should do, we ought to. We're letting go of the distractions because we want to, because we want to experience this newness. We're so stuck in our oldness. It's actually quite shocking when we get a taste of this newness that's always here. This is what happens with meditation, you know. Everything becomes new. and we see things as if seeing them for the first time. And that takes care of the need of always searching for a better moment, doesn't it? When you discover that there's no better moment than this one, this moment of present awareness, this moment of meditation, true meditation, then we can stop the search. We can finally stop the search for a better moment. The miracle has always been in this moment. The miracle is always in this moment. This is where it's been hiding all along. But we don't need to keep missing it anymore. Jeff says, this is true meditation, awakening to the miracle of a single moment. Can you open your eyes and see this? I know you can. He says in meditation, the mind relaxes into the heart, and seeking relaxes into finding, and even anxiety and all these disturbed energies that we're so afraid of and dislike so much, even these find a home. Isn't that beautiful? All these unwanted emotions that we've been repressing for years, pushing away, sweeping under the carpet, they all find a home in meditation. They all find a home in this moment. They all find a home, a safe, loving home, full of acceptance, full of understanding, and full of unconditional love. Isn't this what we need? Isn't this what our whole being yearns for? To find its true home? So remember these three things. Meditation is spacious, meditation is natural, and meditation is new. It's always new. This is the truth of it. Everything else, the guilt, the pressure, the performance, it's all optional. Remember this as you go about your day to day, and as you go through your week, as you go through your life. Let me know how you viewed meditation before watching this video and how you view it now. I'd be very interested to know. Just want to say a quick hi to the person who I bumped into while filming in the park today. Hello! I hope you're enjoying my channel, and you do have a very cute dog, despite the muddy paw prints on my jeans.